Hello, guys. Welcome to Digital World Academy. Today, we'll be talking about the best strategy you can use in trading on RoyalQ. Okay, so if you're new to this channel, please do not forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. So, earlier today, I was discussing with a friend, and we're kind of arguing which is better to trade with using a quantitative bot or trading manually on Binance, futures, or spots. Okay, so it was a heated argument, and after a series of debates, he indeed had to accept the fact that trading manually on Binance or on any other exchange is not an easy ordeal. In fact, to prove the point, he had to send me screenshots of his futures account. Okay, so I'm going to open it. So, for example, this is a coin he's trading. All right, so you can see his this is the percentage reduction and the corresponding loss he is experiencing. Okay, right? So imagine you losing about $121. In fact, if not the fact that he's applying proper capital management, I'm sure by now he must have been liquidated. Just that he trades without a liquidation price, which is a technique you can also use in trading on futures. Now look at his other account, the Wi-Fi, having a minus 191%, and it's in loss of what, $163. This is not just the case. Let's look at more other accounts here. So imagine entering the market with $570 right now. You're already on minus 143. The price is already dropped by minus 25%. You can imagine the ordeal of a manual trader. Okay, so here also entering the $302. Now you're already having an ordeal. In fact, and he even had to even show me an email in which he was liquidated. Now, meaning whatever he had used, I think up to $300 he had used in setting this trade on Atom, he lost every bit of it. Right. So I'm sure many people will be scared to continue. Like, damn, is this how people lose in crypto trading? Yeah, people actually lose. But the main reason why they lose is probably they apply high risk and all that. But with the rare keyboards, mark my words, yeah, you cannot lose your cash because, for example, this guy is trading on futures actually. Okay, but on RoyalQ, your robot is connected to your Binance Spot wallet, so you can never lose a dime. So now, but let's even get started. Now, for example, let's make an analogy of this. Okay, so in this particular trade, for example, this is somebody who is entering the market at once with $570. Now, look at, you can see the entry price. He entered when the market was what, $53, and now the market has come down by $3. It's now $50, and you can see the equivalent reductions. Although he's using the 5x for futures traders, you understand that. But you can just see with this movement, you can now see the reduction in price, and his asset is being reduced, equally. That's to tell you why many of us prefer to use the dollar cost average on a quantitative bot than just using all our capital to enter the market once, $570 once, when the market was $53, for example, and presently it is $50, meaning minus $3 in every ICP he had purchased. Okay, so what is this dollar cost average? I'm sure everyone who is into crypto trading or who is into trading crypto with the Royal Keyboard will have an idea about dollar cost average. But for the sake of those who this might be the first video they would watch when it comes to setting their Royal Keyboard, I will just quickly explain it by first of all going into Binance itself. Okay, so I would go into my Binance account. Now, what is dollar cost average? So let's imagine now, let me open Bitcoin, for example. Now, if I would want to buy Bitcoin, for example, the price is $54,000 presently, 54,500. It went as high as 56, but it's back to 54,000. Okay, so if, for example, I would want to buy Bitcoin now, just like that guy who is trading futures, would it be very wise of me for me to use my whole $500 to buy here? Because if it's possible, if it goes up, let's say I'm buying $500 worth and it goes up by 1%, 2%, 3%, I'm making a whole lot of profit, good and fine. But do we always consider the other side? Or what if it eventually comes down? Now, many people will say, yeah, with technical analysis, we will know if the price is going up or it's going down. Mind you, the guy who I chatted with, the one who sent me this video, I know to a very large extent he has good and sufficient knowledge when it comes to technical analysis. Like, he's good. But this will tell you that even the so-called good guys most times can make wrong decisions. They have their winning days. They also have their losing days. They have the days when they predict the market, it works accordingly. They also have the days when they predict the market and it goes, in reverse order. Okay. So let's say you are a newbie and you are not yet good in technical analysis, or let's even say you are very good in technical analysis. Would it still be advisable because you are seeing an indication that the market would go higher? And next thing, you use all your capital to enter the market at a given point. That would be a very unwise decision, right? Now, this is what many crypto traders, not just in cryptos, in stocks, in forex, and in fact, in many other aspects, they've come to say, okay, let us do what we call quantitative trading. Now, how do you do quantitative trading? It's just the simple calculation. You're like, okay, rather than entering the market all at once with $500 with my whole capital, why don't I enter in percentages? So let's say the market now is $54,000, 54,600. Why don't I enter with 10% or 20%? So if I'm entering with 10%, for example, if I enter here and eventually the market goes higher, good and fine. I am already making profit because 10% of my capital is already in the market making profit for me. But if the market comes downward, while every other person is angry, what happens? I am happy because I can buy more at this point. You get the idea, right? And eventually, if it comes down again, I can get to buy more. So that's what we call the dollar cost average. So it simply means at every given point in the market, you are not putting all your capital. Now, manually, you can do dollar cost average trading on Binance. And how do you do that? So let's say you have $500 you want to invest. Presently, Bitcoin is 5,492. Okay. So let's say out of your $500, you can buy like $100 worth or $80 worth at this point. You wait and see. If it comes down, good and fine, you buy more at another given point. If it goes higher, you're already making profit with your $80 or $100 that is in the market. Good and fine, very applicable. But the truth is, how many times, meaning you have to stay online 247 to monitor it. You cannot just give an instruction, okay, buy at this point, this point, this point, and this point. It becomes very tedious for you, right? Because imagine you want to now trade various coins. So you necessarily need to start monitoring all the coins. Imagine you have a job, you are a student, you're doing various things with your life. You want to also improve yourself because the whole idea of having, or making money is the fact that you want to create a system that works for you even when you are not there. And that is the origin of what quantitative trading robots. Now, the first thing you need to know about a crypto trading robot like RoyalQ is the fact that, first of all, your money is in your Binance account. So whatever you're trading stays in your Binance account. Now, the robot does not do any magic for you, okay? The robot is not an investment company like MB or whatever that will say, bring your money, we are giving you 30%. So cancel that impression. All the robot does for you is you give it instruction. You have a particular trade psychology which you are having, because in the course of this tutorial, we're examining different trade psychology of experts. You see how they set their trade, and we use those trade psychology to do ours. So you have the trade psychology you are working with. You implement it on this robot, and this robot helps you execute it. So it means you might not need to have a very vast knowledge of crypto trading, but at least you need to be a little bit educated on crypto trading, number one, at least a little, and on how to set this bot. That is why you're watching this video. You understand? So now let's now go back into the RoyalQ bot and let's see how this bot works. So this is a very new account and we'll be using it to test run some things on the robot. So if, for example, I want to make a trade, all I need to do is, first of all, I need to come to quantitative. Sure. Okay, if you have watched earlier videos, you will be able to know that. Otherwise, there are tutorial videos in the description of this video. You can just take a look at them and glance through them to have a better idea. So let's say I want to trade 1 inch, for example. All I need to do is click on 1 inch, okay? And I need to come to trade settings, meaning I want to set the trade on 1 inch. So I'll quickly run over the various settings here so that we can take a look at the trade strategy of some other good guys, see how they think and how they trade, and we can use it in balancing our own trade, which I would now call the best strategy of trading. It's not actually the best, it is in my own judgment that is the best, because if we really check it, that by the end of this video you discover that we would be learning how to set the strategy by ourselves, and we'll get to know the do's and don'ts and what we need to consider when setting a trade. So now we're at the trade setting page. Okay, so the first thing you need to do now is, what's your first buying amount? How much do you want to enter the market at first? just imagine you're having $100 or $200, for example, and you have said you want to buy bit by bit, like we have seen in the earlier example. So how much do you want to enter first? That's the first buying amount. So let's say I want to use $20, for example, or 15, but usually it's recommended to use 15 and above. So let's say I would just want to use $15. So the next question now is this: how many times do you want to buy? So let's imagine I'm on to trade $500, like I was giving you in the first example, and I say I want to use $80 to buy first. And at every point the price drops, I want to buy with $80. It simply means if I divide $80 by 500, I'll be able to buy like 6 times, because 6 times 80 will be like 480. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, right? 480 thereabouts. That's if I'm still good with my mathematics. Okay, let me just check a calculator. Let me be sure on that. All right. So 80 times 6. Okay, that will give us 480, right? We'll still have about $20. So if that is what I want to do, I'm having $500. I want to trade just one coin, and I want to be using $80, for example. Meaning I'll be able to open what we call 8 positions, meaning 8 steps. I want to buy at 8 different points. Those 8 different points is what we call the margin, or sorry, 6 different points is what we call the margin call limit. So when you hear someone saying how many margin calls are you using, it simply means how many positions are you giving, to open a trade. All right. So that's the explanation of this point. So the next thing now is your whole profit take, all position take profit ratio. It simply means how many percentage profit do you want from any position you're opening. So just like in Binance, for example, now let's go back to Binance. If I am buying here or at any given point in time, so if I am buying here, for example, okay, I'm buying here. The question is, how many percentage profits do you want? So do I want 10%? 10% simply means the price now is 54,005. If it goes higher by 10%, the bot will sell off by itself and take the profit from me. So meaning if the price 10% of it 4,000 will be about 5,400 thereabouts. So if the price of this Bitcoin increases by 5,400, which is 10% increase, then the bot will sell the given position I have opened here. But you might be surprised, why are we using 1.3? Most times when you see most tutorials, we use 1.1 point. That is because if you're waiting for the bot to reach, or for the price of your coin to reach 10%, it might take a longer time. But if you're just looking for 1%, for example, okay, let's just do a quick mathematics to explain this. So 1%, for example, or 1.3% of 54,500, that will give us about $708. So meaning if Bitcoin moves by $708, which is 1.3%, the robot can sell off and take profit for us. Rather than, it's easier for us, the price of a coin to move by 1.3% than to move by 10%, because 10% of 5,000 or 54,500 will be 5,450. So it's therefore means if I'm going to take 10% profit here right now, Bitcoin has to reach 59,000, almost 60,000 before I will make a single trade, before I will take profit. So let me now ask you this question: which one is easier to do? To make a 1% profit 10 times, or to make 10% profit once? I'm sure you know the answer to that already. So let's go back to our trade settings. So we've explained 1, 2, 3. So back to this fourth position, or this fourth point. Now, when you look at this coin, for example, let me expand it for you to see. Now, take cognizance of this part and this part. You discover that the price of these coins keep on moving upward, downward, upward and downward. That simply means the price is not static. So we need something like a secondary command to tell the robot that, okay, robots, we want 1.3% profit. So let's imagine this line here is the benchmark, 1.3%. And as soon as the price reaches here, it retests, it comes down a little. As we are saying, it's always going upward and down. And imagine it comes back again, it retests. So if, for example, you are the robot, and this is your command, once you reach here, take profit. But as soon as you're reaching here, before you even take profit, the price has dropped again. You see yourself, you'll be confused, because before you activate to take the profit, the price has left you, has come down. So you are giving the secondary command to tell the bot, hey, as soon as you reach this place and you have been triggered, even if the price comes down by 0.3% or by whatever percentage you want to set it, I still want you to take. So you are indirectly telling the robot, look, this is your benchmark. Once you reach here, even if the price is coming down by a little to this point, still grab it and take the profit for me. So that's the explanation for this whole position take profit callback. Okay. Now, Having said this, we need what we call the margin configuration. Now, I know many of us are used to these whole explanations. I'm basically doing this both for newbies and for professional traders. So you can always forward the video to the point where you feel, because shortly after this, we'll now examine the strategy of some professional traders, see what they think when they trade, and we can also set our trades accordingly and have an idea of what it means to have a balanced trade. So the next one you need to know is the margin configuration. Okay, so what is this margin configuration? Remember, we've explained what you consider when you're setting your margin calls. So let's say you want to open 7 different positions at 7 different prices. The next thing you need to tell the bot is, okay, what are these prices? How do I determine these prices? That's what you tell the bot. So by default, this is the default positions of the bot. This is where you really need to put your work, and this is where we'll be examining different traders. So by default position, the bot is set like this. So indirectly, like once the price drops by 3.5%, I want to open another position. I want to buy another one. If the price drops again by 4%, I want to buy another one. If it drops by another 4.5%, what happens? I want to buy another value, another position. If it drops by 5.2%, I want to open another position. So this is simply, so it's called, this is what we call the margin call drop, meaning as the price drops by this percentage, I want to buy or I want to create a new position at this point in time. Then this other side, the buy-in ratio simply means, let's imagine in my first position, I bought with $15. But in my second position, I want to buy 2 times my first position. This is where you set it. So you can now tell the bot, if the price drops by 3.5%, I want to buy 2 times $15, meaning I want to buy $30 at this position. Imagine if, for example, my first position is $100, for example, and I'm saying if the price drops by 4%, for example, another 4%, for example, I want to buy $50, meaning what will I write here? Here will be 0.5, meaning half of my first position. You get the point, right? So if, for example, I want to buy times 8, let's say my first position is $100, and if the price drops by 3.5, it drops by another 4.5, and it drops by another 4.5, I want to buy 8 times $100, meaning I want to buy 800 dollars here. This is the basic explanation of this part. Okay, now we know this. The next thing we need to know now is the buy-in callback. What is this buy-in callback? It simply means after the bot has sold at 1.3, you're telling the bot, okay, fine, good and fine, you can sell at 1.3 profit. Once the price drops again by 0.5 or whatever you choose to set, I want you to buy this coin back. So it's the case that the bot buys here, it sells it when it increases by 1.3%, good and fine. As soon as the price drops down by 0.5, it buys it back. Once it increases again, it sells it off. Once it drops again, it buys it back. Do you get the logic? Well, if it seems confusing at this point, I'm just trying to do a brush up on this. Check the link in the description. We have videos on various aspects you must have missed out as a beginner. Okay. Now, this is the next part we need to know: the distributed and take profit allocation. Now, this simply means from your fifth position downward, what happens? You can set a different take profit ratio. Remember, by default, our take profit ratio is 1.3. But you can tell the bot, since you are from your fifth position, you are buying at a very low rate. The bot is coming down a valley, like you're buying lower. You can tell the bot, okay, from these lower ones, I want higher take profit ratio. I want the same take profit ratio. It all depends on you. So, but from your fifth position downward, you can decide to change the take profit ratio to suit your taste. And just also, this what is it called now? The whole profit callback. Remember the explanation we gave for the 0.3. From your fifth position downward, you can also decide to change it. But I, as a person, I usually leave whatever I set here, I usually leave it at that. Now, having seen this, all right, so I will just save this and let us go and examine the trade settings of some professionals. Now, when I mean some professionals, on RoyalQ, we have the circle. Circle simply means the copy trade, meaning there are professionals on RoyalQ. You can copy their trade, just that they will charge you a fee. Okay, they will charge you a fee. However, probably in the course of this video, you will see there are some ways you can even copy trade without paying any fee, actually. Well, I'm not showing any bad thing, right? But basically, I just want to show you some quick fix, okay? So one of the most popular guys is JD Winner, okay? So let's see JD Winner's trade. So I'm just going to search for JD Winner, all right? So I'm going to copy JD Winner. I'm going to join his sync, all right? And over here you can see this guy has made over what $7,000 or 7,759 percentage profits. That's to tell you how badass this guy is. So these are the various coins he's trading, coupled with the percentage profit he's making from them. I just want to sync a strategy over here, okay? And I want my first buying amount to be $15. I just want to sync only one coin because I just want to show you something. And after syncing it, I'll click on sync strategy. So you can see by default what happens. By default, a coin will be synced for me, and that is Doge. So let me open up Doge, for example, and I'll go to the trade settings of Doge. Now I'm in the trade settings of Doge, and this is how JD Winner sets his strategy. So why I said you can copy some trade strategies without actually paying is, I haven't seen this, I can unsync. I've already gotten the idea of the strategy I want, and I can use it in setting my other coins. Okay, now basically that's just, well, I don't think that's legal, right? Okay, so now you can see for JD Winner, for example, he's using the least first buying amount, like I said, is $15. So you can use $15. He's using 13 margin calls, meaning you need to open 13 positions on your RoyalQ bot. I think I love this idea because I'm also a fan of using more margin calls. I use more margin calls as well as much as 14 or 15. So I think this is a good one. His profit ratio is 1.3%. Okay. His callback, remember what I said about callback, like it reaches a benchmark, even if the price is dropping, you can still, sell it up and take your profit there. So his profit callback is 0.1. Beautiful. Now the important one we want to know and see closely is his margin configuration. So you can see JD Winner's margin configuration. Beautiful. So for JD Winner, if he's entering the market, for example, he enters first of all with $15. Let's use that as an example. If the price comes down by what, 2%, for example, if it falls by 2%, what happens? He buys another what, $15. If it comes down by another 1%, what happens? He buys another what, $15. If the price falls by another 0.7%, what happens? He buys another what, another $15. If it falls again by another what, 0.5%, what happens? He buys another what, $15. I think this is actually in line with what I do because this is my trade strategy. I'm surprised I'm seeing this on JD Winner. Who copied who actually? I'm kidding though. I know he's a big star. So now I'm guessing the reason why he's doing this because that's the same reason why the reason why I'm doing this is what I'm going to be thinking he's also doing. Now, if you notice from his first to fourth margin call, for example, the gaps between them are short, meaning if you check 2 plus 1 will be 3, plus 0.7 will be 3.7, plus this will be 4.2. Now, what this simply means is he's preparing this strategy, this first fourth strategy for a bullish type of market. Now, if the market is in a bullish phase, it is very possible for the market. Now, many people think bullish market doesn't come down. That is very wrong. In a bullish market, you can still see minus 4.2, you can see minus 5, you can see minus 6 in a bullish market. Just that it corrects itself quick, it comes back and it corrects itself. But the market always corrects itself. It always goes down and it goes up. That's the principle of crypto trading. Just know that crypto trading can never be upward alone. No, now, haba. That's no longer trading. It must go up and it must surely what come down. So for JD Winner, what I don't know, he didn't tell me anything. Okay, I'm not him. I'm only thinking because that is the idea I use in setting my own trade too. So, for example, if it's a bullish market, good and fine. Your first 4 margin calls will be very active, buying and selling, making exchanges for you. You get the point. Now, if you now notice from his 5th margin call downwards, what happens? He is now increasing what the margin call, the gap. As I can now see from his first margin call, he's using 1.4, meaning if the price falls again by another 1.4, I want you to buy what? Another what? $15. If it falls again by another 1.8, I want to buy another what? $15. If it falls by 2.4, you can see. So on the total, I won't have the time to calculate it, but if 4 plus 3 point, this would be like 7, 12, 15, 18, 20, 22. So on the average, I can only guess, but on your own, you can pause this video and calculate it yourself. You can see that JD Winner is creating an opportunity in such a way that even if the market falls by 30%, he is still in what? Active position. He is still in what? Active position. Now he's using 13 positions plus his first position. That will be now 14. Essentially the market with what? $15, for example. And he's creating what? 13 positions. So in all there are 14 positions. So let's go to our calculator. $15 times 14 positions, meaning for you to run this strategy on JD Winner using $15 as your first buying amount, you need about what, $210 for you to run a single coin with JD Winner's strategy. You get the point? So we have seen JD Winner. So what I'm going to simply do now is I'm gonna unsync JD Winner so that I can sync another guy. Let us examine what they think when they trade. Okay. But mind you, JD Winner strategy is something I really appreciate that strategy. Because it's more in line with what I do. For those who have watched my previous videos, you would discover that this is more in line with my own trade strategy. Okay, so let me just go to my synchronization strategy over here. I want to cancel JD Winner. Okay, now even if you cancel the trade, the coin will still be there. You've already set the coin, so the coin is already in action. So the only way you can do this is either you come and sell off manually or you put it on one shot for you to sell off. So even if you cancel a person you are sinking, the coin will still be reflecting there because you've already synced that particular coin. So let me go to another person. So who is popular again? I think Crypto Bull is popular. I've not been hearing of them, but I think Crypto Bull. I hope I'm correct with this. Let me search them. So this is Crypto Bull. Crypto Bull has 46,000 users. So there's 46,000 people that are copying Crypto Bull right now. So let me join them. Let me see how their strategy looks like. Wow, these guys are massive. $15,000 or percentage that they've made as profit. So I just want to sync a single coin. First buying amount to use $15. Okay. And I just want to sync one coin. Let me just sync and see. And I want to sync strategy. Okay. So let me come back and see the coin that now, the one thing with the RoyalQ sync is whenever you sync, it gives you a random coin. You do not have a hold on the coin. You cannot select the coin you want to sync. So let me click on Crypto Bull. Let me see their trade settings here. So you can see Crypto Bull is using 15 margin calls, meaning they're opening what, 15 positions. Okay. Now, the profit is what, 1.3%. That's the whole position profit. They're using 0.2. Remember, JD Winner used 0.1. DM, they're using 0.2, which is beautiful. Now, let us look at the margin configuration. So, you can see their own margin configuration. Now, if the price falls by what, 2%, they want to buy what, 1.1. So, imagine if we're entering the market with $15, okay, and the price falls by 2%, what happens? They would want to buy what, 1.1, meaning 1.1 times 15. Let's do that calculator. So 1.1 times their first buying amount times 15, meaning they want to buy 16.5. You see, they're increasing it gradually. They want to be buying more as what the prices is, or as the price of the particular coin is falling and falling and falling. You can see the idea, right? So if it falls again by another 2%, what happens? They want to buy what? Another what? 1.1. If it falls again by another, you can see everything is 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Down to the eighth margin call is 2. So 2, 2, we have like 16. So even if the price, as at here, if the price falls by 16 what percentage, they will be in their eighth margin call. Then from the eighth margin call, it now increases to what, 2.5, 2.5. So this will be 16 plus 5 will be what? So this, as at here now, as at here will be 21 plus 3, 24, 24, 27.4, and 7.4. This will give us like 32, 37, thereabout, and 37 and 45. So this will give us like an average of 45 to 50. Now, what these guys are simply doing is, at this margin call drop, they are setting it in such a way that even if the price of a coin drops up to 50%, they are not bothered. They are still what, in active what position. They're still able to sell in the market. Now, you would not understand what this means until now. This is just the analogy. Imagine you're buying a coin now. The coin is at $500, for example. Okay, $500, and it falls by 50%, meaning it falls to $250. It simply means what? You are not buying everything at once. You are buying bit by bit. So as the price of the coin is falling, you are buying the dip. For crypto traders, you know what it means to buy the dip. Very important to buy the dip. If you don't buy the dip, then only God knows what you buy. So we all need to buy the dip. So this strategy helps you what, in buying the dip effective. So even if the price falls by 50% with, or 48%, I don't know, I don't have the time. You can calculate this yourself to see how many percent everything will lead you to. Even if the price is falling by up to 50%, what happens? You are still in what? Active what? Market. Then the same thing here. I don't know how much total you will need for this, but you can just sum this up and you discover the total amount you will need to fund. This is crypto bulls what strategy. Okay, so I'm gonna unsync now. Let me do the third one just for you to see the way various people are thinking. These are successful traders. So for you to be a successful trader, you also need to know how the successful traders also think. So let me go back sync and we use the last one as an experiment. These two are the most popular one I've been hearing. Like I told you, I don't really sync. Let me just look for anybody who is having up to 50,000 followers. Beautiful. This is QQ Cycle. They have 86,000 followers. So let's see what they are doing. So I will apply to join them. This is their profit. They've made $23,000 as profit from trading. So let me sync into their strategy. I want $15 and I just want to sync one coin, and I will sync. So let me see the coin that was given to me. Let me know. So Ethereum is what I synced from QQ Cycle. So I'm going to click again and see their trade settings. They are doing 14 margin calls. QQ Cycle is doing 14 margin calls. Their profits, remember the first two we saw is 1.3, but this their own is what? 1.1. For the whole profit callback is zero, meaning they want it at the exact 1.1. They don't want it to retrace. So meaning you can leave it at zero as you've seen. Their buying callback is 0.2. I don't know why that would be 0.2, or I don't think I would, I don't think I admire this kind of setting, but let's see what they're doing. So this is their margin configuration. You can see the way they're increasing it. If the price drops by one percent, they want to buy what? Another one value. If it just by 1.3%, they want to buy another value. Something similar to what we've seen. Okay, you can see. So if you calculate this, 6 plus 3.5 will be 9.5. This will be 12. This will be about 14, 15, 17. You can see. So this setting also creates room. If I'm not mistaken, from rough count, so let me just count the main number. 6 plus 3 will be 9, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Then if you now add the fractions, the points, can think of something up to 35 or 40%, if I'm not mistaken. If you add the points, something at the back, you will discover that this strategy creates room. Even if the market drops by 40%, they also want to be they want to be in active market. Now you can see. Let's me even check how their distributed allocation is. So you can see this is almost like what I do. I leave the distributed profit allocation the same thing. If I'm using 1.1, I leave my distributed profit allocation at 1.1. Okay, so for many of us who have our funds stuck, what happens? Why is our fund stuck? You see people telling you they've been in floating loss, the bot has not been trading. That is because basically people don't even really know how to. They just think. At least with these, you can have an idea of how to set your own trade yourself, how to partition your money. Now, if one temptation people make is in a bullish market. Now, if we're in a bullish market, for example, you discover that your bot is only buying between your first and your fifth, because the market in a bullish market, the market tends upward always. So you discover that the bot is trading between your first and your fifth, your first and your fifth, your first and your fifth. It doesn't go down. So many people feel so comfortable that the market is good today. So the bot is only buying my first to fifth margin call. So I've already allocated like $200 or $250, depending on the amount I need to fund this strategy. For example, I've already allocated that here. So now, but since my bot is just going between my first and my fifth, it's not buying down to my 14th margin call, for example, why don't I just buy another coin? No, buy a third coin with the same trading capital. I will buy the same coin. You understand that level now? Now, when you do that, it will help you in a bullish market. You see yourself making more profits. You're happy. Then all of a sudden, the market now goes bearish, starts coming down. So the money you would have now used to buy your sixth margin call, your seventh margin call, your eighth margin call, the bot wants to buy. It is no longer seeing money, because what you have used this money you'd have allocated to this point, you've used it in buying 2 more or 3 more extra coins. Then the bot is now like, where do I now get money to buy more and this thing now? So the bot is stranded. You now see your funds choked or being choked there, and you see yourself not trading for days because of what? Impatience. So in crypto trading, remember, it is not about the profit. We want consistency as well as profit. So we want consistent profits and not just making profit. If you do that, then what's the difference between you and a manual trader? You are just using all your money to buy at a given point. We want to spread our money at, because we know the market. See, let us go and check Bitcoin graph. The graph is never upward consistently. It Look at the graph. It must go up and come down. This is proverbial saying, whatever goes up must surely come down. This is crypto for you. So, having noticed this, you do not just want to be there because the price is up now. You think it's just going to be up. You still need to create room so that in the end, you would not have this kind of, for those who think, some people will tell you, isn't it just better you do manual trading? Manual trading will make more profit at a go. We make more profit at a go. Who says many people will not show, those who would show you their testimonials on manual trading would only show you the greens. Nobody would ever be bold enough to show you the red. You get the point? Nobody will ever be bold enough. In this same account, you'll see green charts. Yeah, the ones that are profit. People will never show you where the losses are like this. So this is the whole idea of manual trading. So for those of you who think manual trading is easier, I know people who make profit, they show their profits on status, they show plus 50% profit. Yeah, you can also see plus 30, minus 33, this one is minus 193% loss. You get the point? So the truth is, I've experienced both sides of the coin, and I'm able to tell you that quantitative trading would actually help you in as far as you are patient and you are faithful to the trade strategy you want. So somebody is going to be asking, but Alex, you say you're going to show us the best strategy. Now, the best strategy is a strategy you understand and you have drawn up by yourself. So, like I said earlier, to a large extent, JD Winner strategy happens to be a strategy that is very, very close to what I do. For those who have been attending my Zoom meetings from day one, and why I so much appreciate his strategies, first of all, he takes into the cognizance the fact that in a bullish market, the price of a coin might not necessarily fall. So you're creating smaller gaps for your first five positions like this. Very interesting. I think I approve of this. From your fifth downward or from your sixth downward, you start increasing the gap. Very wonderful. Okay. But the only difference I think is I would naturally want to use 14 or 15 margin calls. So that from my first to my 13th might be like this. Yeah, my 14 and my 15 are usually very wide, like 7, 7%, 7%. So even if it's a very serious dump, a very serious dip, the market is going very deep. At least those my 14 and 15, you cannot escape them. They're my last back man. You understand? I'm back man. So that's what I want to do. But I think I approve JD Winner strategy. I think it actually goes with what I've been doing. For those who have been watching my tutorials, it goes with what I've been doing. So you can see the way various people trade, and you can get to understand how to set your trade. So trade with conviction. Now, another thing I've discovered is most new people into crypto, they're always scared of trading by themselves. You know why? They're always scared of setting the trades. So they always depend on their upline to set trades for them. That is because they don't want to take responsibility. They know if they set the trade by themselves, then they're wholly responsible for that trade. So they always want to depend on somebody. So that is why, despite the number of tutorials I've done, people who will watch my tutorials will still come and meet me and say, Alex, set trade for us and just set it. So that if, for example, their mindset is, let Alex set it so that tomorrow we can only say, nah, Alex, Kosam. You understand that kind of idea? No, you're a crypto trader. If you're successful yourself. You're not successful for Alex. Learn the basis of how to set your trade by yourself. Set your trade by yourself. Make your money, because Alex doesn't join you when you're spending the booty or when you're enjoying the whatever. So you do not necessarily need your upline. Many people are so like, my upline is not supportive or whatever. You have all the material. In as far as you're watching this material online, then meaning you don't really need an upline, because added to the description, you have a whole lot of introductory videos and whatever you would need to make your own self successful. So take charge of your crypto trading. Do not give your money to people to invest so that you don't get scammed. You yourself can be a professional trader. You've seen like three of the top-notch traders, how they set their trade. I don't see a reason why you cannot merge most of these trades, to set yours. And you can actually even learn all these things. You can be syncing to various people, copy the trades, know how they're setting it on sync. I don't think anybody will come arrest you from your house for syncing and unsyncing from them. Just a clue though, okay? All right. I think that's all with the presentation. I hope we all have learned a lot. Okay.